Together we stand, and divided we fall.
So obviously they're pushing into AI and technology, and you know, what was the metals that are in the jabs? I can't remember the name of the metal anyway. It's all out there. I'm sure you've all seen it, but it's all in preparation to prepare your system, for nanotechnology. If you look, and I'm using evidence as in mainstream media. So if you look over in the eastern bloc of the world, you will notice that China have a lot of technology. They have facial recognition everywhere. They've gone to, I think it's cashless currency, so everything's chip now. Um, you know, they can monitor everything about everybody. There's no, oh, I need a bit of money, so I'm going to rent my spare room out to a lodger for a bit of cash, or, I fancy a bit of weed tonight, so I'm going to go and get myself a nice little talk, because weed is obviously the one drug that the CIA and people like that who do the mind experiments and mind control don't want people to have, because it's the one that opens up different neural receptors and different pathways, you know. Obviously I smoke weed, but that's not really too relevant. It wasn't weed that woke me up. It was a completely different thing. But anyway, right. Obviously you're educating your slaves now. Religion. This is a huge one. This is where I've got to try and be careful, because I don't want to belittle people's belief systems, right? But I just want to have a look at where these belief systems come from. So as I said earlier, when somebody's wiped out all traces of somebody else's history and dominated them and then changed the narrative and it's going to be their way, they do destroy as much as possible of that, but they can't get rid of everything. So there are there's lots of information out there about possible pasts and histories, and you know things that we do know about, like pyramids. We know that they are powerhouses for free energy. We all know this, and yet we still pay for electricity and nobody does anything about it. Anyway, my slaves might start thinking for themselves. I've educated them enough so that they think that they're intelligent and educated, and all of the information that we push towards them is based along science, and we've pointed them towards the stars so that their endless minds of inquiry can run on forever, because your mind can wander forever up there, and we've pointed them to all of the mysteries that we're happy for them to look at and discover. But now people are waking up and they're realizing there's more. They're following some of the practices that we don't want them to follow, because they found some things that have led them to bring out these ancient practices. Things like yoga weren't brought out by the mainstream, and Reiki and stuff like that. I'm a Reiki master, by the way, and I use my energy freely for everybody. I don't charge like other people are all, oh, you got to make money out of it. I heal the world naturally, freely, every day. Every day I do at least 2 sessions where I send everything I've got out to the world. My love, my healing, my hope, everything. I think the people who charge are still stuck in their system, and so they're not woke. They may be light workers, but they haven't woke up yet to their situation. Now, I don't want my slaves getting away from me, so I control everything. My tobacco companies bought out the food companies a long time ago, and I will just poison my slaves in every way that I possibly can to keep them weak. So I'll poison them first through the food and make sure that they have a bad diet, and make them, I'll lie in my narrative, and I'll get all of my professional helpers and all my people who we keep all of the top echelons belonging to us, and we will make everybody lie and believe whatever we want them to believe, and we will be both their friend and their enemy. So while we make them ill, we will heal them with our medicines. But the truth is, we will tell them that the real medicines are weeds, so they kill them. We will make false medicines for them, medicines that help in a little way, but add more problems. And in this way, we will have them on a continuous cycle. We will also poison them from every other angle that we can to keep them weak, because we are aware that their bodies are self-healing constantly. Their bodies regenerate at such a rate that we have to put lots of poisons into them on a constant basis to keep them weak. And they can never know that they are self-healing or that they can self-regenerate, because if they know, then we lose our power. The pharmaceutical industry is just the most powerful industry on the planet, along with the tech industries now. Anyway, I will poison them in their perfumes and their lotions, because their skin is porous. And as Bruce Lipton said, our cells are conscious and absorb from the environment around them. Well, our cells are conscious and our skin is porous. You know what porous is? Where you absorb your environment around you, because this is the beings that we are. So it's easy for all of these, hidden recipes under the guise of the perfume recipe are, they contain leads and different kinds of poisons. It's all out there if you look it up. And fluoride in your toothpaste and your water, so I will poison their waters. And what's fluoride for? The fluoride, well, that's the coup de grace, your seat of power, your energy self. Where do you connect with that? That connection is your pineal gland. That's your seat of power. Once you realize that you are your spirit body and you can connect to your pineal gland, then, freedom's assured, 100%. It won't take all the rough edges off you and make you into a smooth diamond, but it'll make you a nice rough diamond. I guarantee you that. It'll show you what really matters, but also you have to accept your own death for that. But that happens in the long dark night. That all comes with freedom. But it helps you to see that nothing matters. You come to this earth with nothing, and you leave with nothing. Nothing you amass around you has any importance whatsoever. It holds no value. Nothing on this planet has any value. It only has the value that we agree. So you know how if I could wake enough people up that we could all stand together, that we could all just be woke up together, we wouldn't have to agree on everything, but we just have to wake up and want to take back our freedom and our power. And if I could get enough of that, it's so easy. Everybody makes everything seem so difficult, but nothing's ever as difficult as people try and make you think it is. So bearing in mind, nothing has any value. Diamond is only worth what it is because we agree it is. We let them. So all of the value that's gone up and up on everything in this planet over time, it's just them tightening their control as the disparity gets further and further. And you got all your sort of middle to working class in the middle, but the poor people, hungry, starving, dying, and then the ultra rich, who knows what they're even doing. They've got their own universe, more or less. You don't get to see inside their world, which is our world. So if we all turn around and say, right, nothing has any value anymore, nothing. We're going to take away the value for everything. It takes away everybody's power, We're going to, we need to really focus on what do we actually need. So Can somebody tell me an industry, any industry, just one, give me one industry, if you possibly can, that we actually need for our survival? There isn't one that exists. There's no industry on this planet that is necessary for our survival or betterment on this planet. We don't need the medical industry whatsoever, because as I've already explained, if I wasn't poisoning all of my slaves, they would be self-healing. Their bodies are capable of self-healing, but because I've surrounded them with all of these poisons and tricked them into ingesting them constantly and rubbing them on their skin like it's good for them, and putting them on their faces because it makes them prettier, and spraying them on them because they smell nicer, and putting them in the clothes that they wear, all of these poisons. And I'm also attacking them, sorry. I'm also attacking them. I'm attacking their vibration, because obviously their energy body, resides in certain vibrations. And if you know anything about chakras, or your meridians, your acupoints, you will understand the physical body has a relationship with energy, because obviously our energy body controls it. And we have certain points and areas in our bodies. We have areas in every single part of your body. Just on your foot alone are enough acupoints that touch every single organ in every part of your body. That's why often people think I'm mad when I walk around with my shoes off and standing on stones and stuff. But they understand now anyway. But yeah, so energy, we need some bit of a sneeze. Gone. So yeah, we have an amazing relationship with energy, and obviously all of the power points within our bodies. But our pineal gland, and obviously at the bottom of our spine, our coccyx, we have what they call the serpent, which is obviously just fluid that is in your spine. And with the right breathing techniques and practice, you can push that fluid up, and that can give you a forced awakening, which they say isn't too good, because you may see things that you're not ready for. It's all good though. But yeah, that's the seat of your power. And to get there takes, a nice lifestyle. So me personally, I'll give you my recommendations. So what I would do is I would avoid anything with sugar, avoid any flour. I mean, sugar is horrendous. It feeds cancer. It feeds all illness. Sugar is the worst thing that you can eat on this planet, and it's the most addictive thing on the planet. It's more addictive than heroin. It's more addictive than dairy. Dairy's another hugely addictive and very bad thing for us. I mean, if we wanted to have dairy, we should be making it out of women's breast milk. That's the truth be told. But once we reach a certain age, we don't need any dairy anyway. We only need it as children. And then it's our mother's dairy, really, that is the most beneficial. And all of this drive to get people on all of these false milks and telling everyone that they've got problems breastfeeding and stuff, most of it's made up. It's to make the slaves weak, because the weaker the slaves are, the less chance that they'll ever have of rebelling. They'll be so focused on their own misery and problems and wondering, why have I got to be a better person to get a better life? Well, let's have a talk about heaven and hell. Heaven and hell, there's no heaven above us and hell below us. It's all metaphoric. None of it exists, but it does exist. It exists here and now on this planet. This planet has the potential to be our heaven or hell, and at the moment it is our hell, and it's not the hell that it's going to be, because trust me, if it continues going the way that it's going, it will get a lot worse. But it also could be our utopia, our heaven, and it can. It's down to us. We need to have our unity. This is where our strength lies. One person manifesting holds no power. But 1 billion people, 2 billion, 8.9 or 7.8 billion, How much power do you think that holds? 1,000 people with their mind focused in the same direction holds power. This is where religion take your power from you, because they have you prostrate and subservient. And you shouldn't be prostrate and subservient. That when you are praying with love, you should be up, spine straight, chest out, pushing your heart out to the world. Not cowering, not bending. This is how you pray. You pray straight to your power. Push your love out. And when you servitude, love, servitude, they don't go hand in hand. When you love, you do want to do everything that you possibly can for the one that you love, 100%. But it's not servitude. It's equality. It's a love of equal measure. And any God who loves you, if you're part of that God and they're part of you, then why would a God pray to himself? It doesn't make sense. It's all just to pull your energies away, and how do you know that the people or the entities they tell you are the gods are really the gods? Because everybody can't be right, can they? Not when you're all different about it. Oh no, it's us. Separatism. And the truth is, all religions have said that, we are made in God's image and that we are of each other and that he resides in our heart. And that's because the truth is we are all gods. We all are all representations of the same living energy that governs everything, which is energy. I call it the universe. You might call it Jehovah or Allah or God or Jesus or Buddha or Krishna or Vishnu, or there's so many different names of gods, and we all have our own truth about it. But I prefer not to put a physical embodiment on it. I prefer to think of it as a collective that we all belong to, and we've all franchised off of. We've all come here to have our own little experiences that we'll then take back to that collective, and our atoms are doing that constantly anyway. And that, so I prefer to think of it as a collective, and I believe when I manifest, I also like to do that collectively. I don't manifest for me anymore, although I always wanted a nice piece of land with a nice retreat, whereby people could come and live harmoniously and heal for free, with a nice apothecary where we take all of the herbs and plants that nature gives us and make, herbal, fresh, healthy, clean remedies. And it's just tranquil, peaceful, at one with nature, But it wouldn't just be for me. It's for me, my son, and anybody else who would have the heart and the want and desire to get away from it and to learn, a different aspect of life and connect with themselves and learn who their deeper self really is and learn how to face their demons, Fear is always the biggest demon, fear and anger, but fear's the one. Fear drives anger. And we have to be unafraid and step out of the shadows, So I would like to say to everybody, remember the 5th of November. So at the moment, there's a march organised for the 5th of November for Anonymous, for our freedom, for our rights. And obviously I'm going to be there. I'm going to be doing everything I can for our freedom. Anyway, as I said, the preparing is for complete slavery, because that's what all this nanotechnology is. If they can start getting celebrities to model these things and make everybody think that it's going to be an amazing idea. We already see it in cartoons and all of that, and they've already got somebody's hand. I mean, you've got nano freaks who are trying out all of the technology, and they've already got the hands chipped now so that they can use their money remotely and have everything in there. You know, it's only one small step. Once you tap into man's system, because we are an organic computer.
Together we stand, and divided we fall.